Sextortion is a clever name for a very real crime affecting thousands of young people across the country, including right here in East Tennessee. It causes embarrassment, anxiety, and desperation, and in the most severe cases, suicide.
Tonight, we explain it and how parents can protect their children. 10 News anchor Abby Ham joining us with the story of one local family, Abby, who has lived this nightmare.
Robin and John, this family was devastated earlier this year to learn their 17-year-old star athlete was the target of sextortion. And now the child's mom and stepmom are teaming up to make sure this doesn't happen to another family. And they wanted to make sure their son didn't suffer any further embarrassment, so they asked to remain anonymous. And we honored that request by disguising their voices and not showing their faces. It started as a seemingly innocent follow request on Instagram from a cute girl named Samantha Cox.
Hey there, looks like we have a lot of the same friends.
So he thinks he's talking to this beautiful girl, and they had all these mutual friends. So this person had requested his friend group, maybe fishing, to see who would take the bite.
And the 17-year-old bit.
Yes, we do know the same people. How have we not met before?
So-called Samantha Cox had her victim. She started sending him pictures on Snapchat and pressuring him to do the same. He did. And after they spoke on the phone, the teen quickly learned Samantha Cox was actually a man from another country.
She is not a she. And he is going to use the photos if you don't send $500. And of course, he did not have $500.
The FBI says financially motivated sextortion usually targets boys ages 14 to 17.
It's going to put them in a spot where they're very, very vulnerable, and they're also very interested in attention from other kids, from other girls that might be talking to them online.
Perpetrators, often from places far away like Nigeria, form a relationship with a child by stalking them on social media.
This perpetrator actually had his girlfriend's name, who his parents were, who his ball coach was, went as far as to say that if he did not send this money, they were going to notify these people. And they named him.
Between October of 2021 and March of 2023, the FBI received more than 5,800 reports of this type of sextortion.
They give whatever they can on Venmo or whatever other way that they're being requested. And yet, it's still not enough, because some of these subjects are going to continue to come back and back and back for more and more money.
But it's not just the money, it's a child's self-worth.
Humiliation, embarrassment, beat down. I cannot say I've ever seen this kid who is a ray of sunshine, who is a leader of others, who is well respected, but totally a different side of him.
His mom, dad, and stepmom were in the dark about all of it.
I knew that he was desperate for a lot of money, and as raising a child, I was scared for why he needed that amount.
The boy finally confessed to his dad and stepmom, who quickly called his mom to let her know.
I immediately drove over to the house, and when I saw him, and he is just, his body language was so defeated, and he just was crying. We reminded him that he is a really good kid, and that one mistake does not erase all the good.
The family says supporting the child is what helped the most.
It's just loving them through it, listening, being there, because they're beating themselves up enough. They're embarrassed enough. He was terrified. He didn't need any more of that from us.
And finally, months later, the teen is in a better place.
Slowly, over time, he is, right back to himself. He's the leader on the team, everybody wants to be around him. He's got that energy, and you just love his sense of humor and his sarcasm, and he's just a lovable child.
How incredibly upsetting that has to be. So the question is, how do you keep something like this from actually happening?
Well, that's the hard part. And what do you do if it does happen? This family sought help from a friend who works in law enforcement. And the deputy recommended they close all accounts, change his phone number, and all communication. And for them, this worked to stop the perpetrator. But that's the tricky part. It doesn't always do that. The FBI says if this happens to you, you must report it to the FBI or local law enforcement immediately. While this can happen to anyone, it is, of course, especially dangerous for children. The FBI says in the U.S., 20 of these sextortion cases ended in suicide. It's critical to monitor your child's communication online and be on the lookout for changes in their behavior as well. And tomorrow we'll have more tips on 10 News Today from a cyber crimes expert on how to safeguard your devices.
Such good information to be passing along. Abby, thank you.